This floated downwind. I'm guessing it's your handiwork?
Hello. Yes, it is mine. The lanterns are for my grandfather, to honor him.
What did your grandfather do?
He was a soldier in World War II. He crashed on the island, defected, and then met my grandmother.
To you, abandoning your duty is worthy of honor?
That is not what I'm celebrating.
What then?
I always adored my grandfather. One day, after a heavy rain, I found his photos buried in my family's garden. Things from his old life, his life of war. I make these lanterns every year on the anniversary of his death, to recognize that it is never too late to change who you are. My grandfather killed many people, but he was also brave enough to realize the error of his ways. He did everything he could to atone for his misdeeds.
I'm not sure bravery is the right word for that.
He built a new life from ashes. There's bravery in that. And now those soldiers desecrate his memory.
What makes you say that?
I kept the photos of my grandfather. I remember what he looked like vividly, every detail, down to the buttons of his jacket. Last week, I saw a soldier wearing it. They stole his precious things.
And you'd like help getting them back?
Please. I can show you the pictures of what was taken.
Wait, I recognize some of this gear myself. Used to belong to a friend of mine named Midas. The soldiers took these too?
They took all of it.
All right, I'll help you.
I will never be able to thank you enough for bringing these back. My grandfather was haunted by what he'd done until the day he died. It is my responsibility to make sure his memory lives on, so that no one repeats his mistakes. His best friend, another lost soldier, suffered a far worse fate. It is small comfort.
Honor comes in many forms. You're right, it is never too late to do the right thing, even if you stand alone. Maybe Midas will follow the same path. Bird watching?
Ain't watching for no birds. I'm on the lookout for drones.
Is this how folks pass the time on this hunk of rock?
Nah, there are these two Skell scientists doing a research study on them. There's some good money in it. Hey, but if you want in on the action, you're gonna have to take to the scientists yourself.
Where can I find them?
They're squirreled away in the eastern part of the Channels port in the Channels province.
I might just do that. Thanks. Thanks. Take care of yourself. Well, this isn't something you see every day.
No, it is not. In fact, this isn't even something you would have seen yesterday.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean just that. This structure wasn't here yesterday. I'm Alvarez Deschamps. I'm one of the head scientists at Skell. I apply the design theories of Pythagoras to World 2.0. It's my job to make this place feel more real. These pylons, though, they just appeared suddenly and unlike any phenomenon I've ever seen. It doesn't feel natural.
Got any theories about it?
Initially, I thought this was a prank, or the work of the Outcast, or Sentinel Corp. But with all the drones circling the area, I realized that it could be some sort of geolocalization tool, or some mineral storage device. But even so, there's no record of a project like this in our database. So, I hate to admit it, but I'm stumped. Since you're here, think you can help me figure it out?
If Sentinel is even remotely involved, I think it's worth investigating. What do you need from me?
Well, with all the drone activity nearby, I think using a drone might be the key to unlocking this mystery. They're circling around in very specific positions, and I have to believe there's a reason for it. I don't, however, have access to a drone to find out.
I'll try to find out what the drones are up to, see if we can get to the bottom of this.
Thanks. I feel like I'm being pranked. It's not like the drones are doing this by themselves. Somebody has to be behind this.
I've got something for you, Deschamps. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but maybe it'll help.
What did you find?
A bunch of encrypted documents. I tried deciphering them myself, but I can't read them on my own.
Huh. Interesting. This wasn't the Outcast or Sentinel Corp at all. According to this document, the drones have developed a primitive form of neural intelligence.
Like artificial intelligence.
It means the drones are not just capable of learning. It means they're capable of observing patterns and producing structures, even art, on their own.
That's a little unnerving, isn't it?
Yes, but also incredibly fascinating. It's a discovery that could revolutionize how we build World 2.0. Thank you for helping me solve the mystery.
Hello. We're not buying parts today. Come back in the morning. Dr. Starr and I will be happy to look over what you've got.
Name's Nomad, and I'm not selling drone parts. I am, however, in the market for information about the Azrael drones.
Ah, a fellow automation enthusiast. Welcome. My name is Dr. Romero, and this is Dr. Starr. We're analyzing how the wolves are intercepting the signals from the Azrael, and how they communicate with the Stolas drones.
Frankly, to say that they communicate is an insult to the work, Dr. Romero.
What Dr. Starr is trying to express is that their relationship isn't one of reciprocity, but rather symbiosis.
Precisely. And we haven't had the luxury of getting our hands on an Azrael to examine it. We've had to settle for what these amateur salvagers have brought us.
So what can I do to help?
Well, if you really want to help us, take out a drone, loot its communications components, and bring them back to us. The components will allow us to pinpoint how it's signaling other drones.
You don't mess around, do you? So how will I know what I'm looking for?
You should be able to find a copy of Azrael's blueprints in Assembly Hall Omega-02. That info will let you know which parts to loot once you take the drone down.
Works for me. How about you point me in the direction of this factory?
Oh yes. Assemble Hall Omega-02 is just east of this building, right over Roaring Falls.
Thanks. I'll check it out. Hello, stranger. Heard you lost your access card.
Jesus, did the HR department send you? Look, I'm really sorry. I don't know how Terry got my ID, or why she's so mad at me and Michelle, but we were not fraternizing. Me and Terry, or Michelle. 'Cause, you know, we get that there are rules. I'll have my ID back in the morning, though. Oh, and I want to go on the record as saying, whatever Terry says about me or me and Michelle is total bullshit. And anyway, isn't it practically blackmail?
Listen, shitbird. Just tell me where it is or you're gonna have to swim through the office dating pool without your two front teeth.
Terry hid it in the cafeteria.
Did you miss me?
Remarkable. How did you...
What can I say? I'm resourceful.
This is... everything. This is at least a year of work. How can we ever...
Just make sure you share anything you find out with me when I get back. Got some, real-world applications in mind.
Perhaps I was a bit hasty in my assessment of you.
Try not to break your hand patting me on the back, hey doc. We're good. So what do you have for me?
Well, there's good news and there's bad news.
The good news is we figured out the Azrael drones are communicating through a relay.
Yes, that's the key. They use the relay to send the position of any threats directly to the nearest Wolves and Stolas drones patrols.
That's why they can react so quickly.
Exactly. You're catching on. That relay is the key to the whole Azrael drones operation.
So what's the bad news?
The relays are guarded by behemoth drones.
Had a run-in with your behemoth. Better yet, I discovered its weakness.
Do tell. I'm sure it must have been magnificent.
The behemoth has a couple of weak points. By shooting at him, you can stun the drone for a few seconds. After that, it's just a matter of wearing the damn thing down.
This aligns with our recent findings, too. We just discovered that the behemoth has a hidden vulnerability in its turret. Target that exact point, and it will briefly disable the behemoth's missile weaponry.
Thanks. That would have been good information to have had earlier, but I'll remember it for the future.
Thanks to you, we have all the information we need to exploit the behemoth and its vulnerabilities. We really appreciate the help.
What happened to your grandfather's best friend? The lost soldier you mentioned?
The lost soldier. My grandfather's best friend. His name was Shiro. He lost himself in his loyalty to the homeland. He chose a more violent path. One that led to...
A violent end.
I'm afraid so.
Was he killed in action?
No, he... isolated himself. Whatever he saw, whatever he experienced, he tried to run from it.
I think we all owe a debt of gratitude to the soldiers that have paid the ultimate price for war. Whatever his past, he deserves a proper remembrance, and your family deserves some closure.
Thank you. I believe his twisted legacy starts in liberty. Looking for freedom and solace that he could never find. Should you follow his path, just be careful. You might not like what you find.
Do you know where I could get any medicine? Seems to be a real shortage right now. Thanks for your help. You really want to talk to me.
I swear! I said everything I know!
The places you've gone, the things you've seen. It's tragic, isn't it? My grandfather said that all Shiro wanted to do was stop running. But he could never escape himself.
This guy fought too hard for far too long.
There has to be a better way than ritual suicide.
It was a different time, a different culture. From his point of view, it was probably the best thing to do.
This is not the kind of honor my grandfather taught me.
As soldiers, we have an obligation to protect those who cannot protect themselves. We're honor-bound to do the right thing, even if it means sacrificing ourselves to do it. As long as I stay true to my path, as long as I stay true to who I am, I won't follow in this Shiro's footsteps. I'm my own woman, but the lessons these men learned will not be forgotten.